did you happen to bring a beverage?
I did. I brought the new Fat Tire.
Hell yeah.
Which we can taste.
Natural
and I
segue.
found the oldest Fat Tire I could find.
I love drinking old beer. Let's do it.
The oldest Fat Tire in town, which was worked out perfectly because I always buy out of date beer in the market when I find it, like a good little beer rep. So this beer, and I know you guys kind of talked about it before, but we did kind of like, I've made some comments like, you know how you put frogs in water and then you turn it up slowly to boil.
I do that every day.
I know this is like a weird, terrible thing to say, but that's kind of what we've been doing with Fat Tire because we knew that changing the recipe of Fat Tire was a big, scary thing. And we were going to have people with pitchforks coming at us and their torches. And so I think it was kind of an evil genius thing that we did. And so in the last year, we've kind of slowly been blending the new recipe of Fat Tire in with the old recipe of Fat Tire. So what this is, I don't have a bottle opener, but so that is a blend that is about 60% old recipe Fat Tire.
And so the original Fat Tire was just an American amber ale, which is just good old American base malt, probably some light caramel malts in there. I think you guys maybe use a little bit of something like Special Roast or Munich or something in there from what I recall. And then what is it? Probably like Willamette hops or Little Cascade maybe.
Look at you.
So we got to do a side by side. Because the big thing that you have to look at is the color is different. And that's been, I think, the hardest part for us so far. I think so far it seems like people really love the liquid, but it can be a little jarring at first when you look at the difference. If you're sitting at your favorite tap room and you get a Fat Tire draft. And a lot of that, as we kind of talked about, comes from that raw barley that we're using.
I mean, looking at the OG amber, the quote unquote OG, it is even lighter than I remember with the 60% blend.
Yeah.
At what was the smallest amount of the blend that you all did that you introduced into the market? Was it like, all right, we're gonna do an 80-20 and then see what happens?
I don't know for sure. I think the longest one we did was a 60-40, and that kind of started in the summer of last year. But I don't know if we started probably 10 or 20% just to kind of start creeping it in. Our brewmaster, Christian Holbrook, had been working on this for years, and this was kind of his idea of a way to kind of help continue to offset our carbon footprint. And the reality is, like, we all have a very sweet, touching story of the first time we had a Fat Tire.
We're old as fuck. We don't matter anymore.
Totally. Yeah. You're like borderline.
Yeah,
like,
you're borderline.
I was gonna say, like, I remember 1554. I don't really remember Fat Tire because it was already just like so prevalent in life.
There. But yeah, the reality is, the last 5 years, sales have been down for Fat Tire. It's still the #1 beer we produce at New Belgium, so it is nothing to shake a stick at. It's a great beer and we sell a lot of it, but we saw that sales were declining. And so I think it was time to do something bold and crazy and make a change.
And people, and myself included, I have a nostalgic connection to it, like the story I told you guys or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't, bro? Yeah, like I do enjoy your all's like mixed 12-pack that is out. It has, I think, the Black Lager, Fat Tire, original Ranger maybe last time I got it, and then like a Voodoo Ranger or something hazy. So anyway, I do like it. But that being said, you're not like going out of your way to find amber ales a lot these days.
Right. They're just not sexy anymore. Yeah. They're just not.
And this is not necessarily something unique. Like, if anything, it kind of shows a maturation of the craft beer industry because all brands do this with their most successful brands. Like, remember New Coke? And like Coke and Pepsi do this all the time.
We make so many jokes about New Coke.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just reformulate the recipe. Like, I know like fast food does it a lot with their like reformulated things. Yeah. So if anything, it actually to me is a sign of health rather than just kind of clinging on to something and letting it kind of become just like a defunct brand that old people like myself and Todd Ferris talk about. Right. It's something fresh and it's got to can design that's new, and I like the branding is freaking awesome.
It's cool. It's vintage. It's modern.
Yeah,
it's everything.
The only promise that we'll ask from the New Belgium team is to once a decade. Just like Coke and Pepsi do, you got to do throwback tire. Yeah, give us the flat tire, like the old and busted version, just so the nerds can go get a pint at the tap room.
Oh, I just had a memory unlocked. I remember it was 2016, 2015, Fat Tire and Friends, with the collaboration series, and I think it was a mixed 6-pack or mixed.
Oh, it was a mixed 12-pack.
12-pack, yeah, that was cool. I remember Rheingeist being involved with that. I think
they were. Yeah, it was Rheingeist, Avery, Hopworks, Sierra Nevada.
But yeah, the whole idea was to be hey, what is your take on Fat Tire, and what would you tweak? And we'll call it a collaboration. Is that?
Yeah, they did their version of. They did a innovative amber ale.
Yeah, so that's super fun.
There was one that was a lager, there was a hoppy one, there was a farmhouse amber. It was really cool.
So we'll do some tasting notes for everybody who's really curious to try this experiment. The original Fat Tire, quote unquote, is pretty close to what I remember. It's malty. I think the original, obviously, since this is a blend, was a little bit kind of more caramel malty forward, a little bit darker, but this scratches the itch. The new one is a couple shades SRM lighter, and I really
so much brighter.
You get that placebo effect thing going on, but I can almost kind of get the vibe of the unmalted wheat, or of the unmalted barley, rather. A lot of those, Belgian beers will use that spelt malt, or the chit malt and things like that. This kind of gives me that kind of a vibe. So it's got a little bit more malt complexity than you'd get in just a straight up blonde ale, or what are you guys technically going to call this one now?
Technically, it's a classic ale.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, technically, no.
Is it technically?
No, technically, it's a golden ale.
Okay. Okay.
Technically, it's a golden ale, but I think, this is kind of a new weird thing. So, Fat Tire is just Fat Tire, baby.
Fat Tire is just Fat Tire.
You don't have to put it in a box.
Yeah.
It's the David S. Pumpkins. I'm my own thing, man.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just Fat Tire.
This is the first time I've had the new straight up. This is my first experience with it. I really like it. Yeah, I really do.
I like it more. Honestly, I want it. I want to.
So again, the nostalgia thing is hard for me to overcome. But if I was to crack my head on the sidewalk and wake up and be I need a beer, but I can't remember anything about my former life. Yeah, and if I was to pick one of these to be my crusher, might be a weird word after talking about smashing my head, but
right, sure.
This is really good. I really like this. It's very dry. It's very drinkable. It's very clean, but it gives me some vibes of the old school kind of caramel malt without being caramelly.
The aroma is the same to me. It reminds me of Fat Tire, which goodness, it would have been a fun thing. I could probably smell and look at a Fat Tire and tell you if it was 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days old.
Which brewer made it?
It was a whole weird
which bright
thing.
tank it sat in.
Yeah, and we used to do that. We used to do contests for that at the brewery.
That's great.
That's awesome.
We would do blind taste tests to tell how old a beer was. But the aroma reminds me of Fat Tire, but it's drinkable. It's crushable. It's crisper. It's brighter.
I would drink a pitcher of this with a big pizza.
So are we
with a pizza?
Are we just going to declare summer 2023, the summer of Fat Tire? I mean,
it's hot girl summer. This is
this
new
is
Fat Tire
summer.
Fat Tire.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
I'm for it. Yeah, that's really good. And again, if it keeps the brand around, and if it keeps something that I loved nostalgically, fresh and new people entering the market, and if it means there's more 6-packs of it to drink, I'll drink this shit out of that.
If people get bikes because I drink this beer, then let's just keep
win-win.
That's
Why
fine.
not?
It's great for everybody.